Get ready for the best cricket show in America. Full Toss, hosted by Amit Godbole, Amarnath and Atul Hukku.
Good afternoon, folks. You're listening to Full Toss on Radio Zindagi WWRL. 1600 AM in New York, WKXW 101.5 FM HD2 in New Jersey. RadioZindagi.com is where you can listen to us live online. Like us on Facebook. This is your host Amit, live from Houston, Texas. Let me introduce my opening lineup today and our openers in the studio, Amarnath and Atul. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a cold, beautiful day.
At number 3 batting today is, once again, my friend Vijay in the studio. Vijay, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Amit, and a very warm welcome to all our listeners. We need all the warmth we can here in New Jersey.
You're telling me, man, you guys are pushing all that cold down here in Houston, Texas. We're not used to this kind of cold weather here. It's been 28 degrees, 27 degrees getting up for the last 2 days.
Hey, you know,
but listen, gentlemen,
we love to share, so.
And please don't share this kind of stuff, man. Keep it to yourself. Hey, listen, gentlemen, and also a very quick hello to Jiten Shukla, who's on the controls. Thank you for all your help, buddy. Gentlemen, we have a jam-packed show, and I mean it today. It's going to go real fast and a lot of things to cover. I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to start our discussion today. On January 4th, an explosive news that was broken out in the media. Mahendra Singh Dhoni stepping down as the captain of Team India. Amarnath, Atul and Vijay, one by one, let's hear from all three of you.
I think it is the right move, given the fact that India will be playing the Champions Trophy this year and the World Cup in another 2 years' time. One needs to give... if you decide that Dhoni is not going to be the World Cup captain, it makes sense to give the next person enough time to build his team and try out his ideas. So I think it is a step in the right direction. Who brought it about, whether it was Dhoni or induced from above, that's a matter of speculation. I'll leave it to others.
Yeah, I totally believe with what Amarnath is saying. If you look at 2017 schedule for India. India is playing about 18 ODIs and 9 2020. We start off with England with 3 ODIs and 3 2020s. ICC Championship will start in June. We've got 3 games before we go into the knockoffs. We are playing Pakistan, Sri Lanka and South Africa. Then we have West Indies series with 5 ODIs and 1 2020. Sri Lanka with 5 ODIs and 1 2020. October we go and play Australia with 5 ODIs and 1 2020. That gives 18 and 09 ODIs and 2020. Now, if you are looking at transitions of captaincy, this is the right period because MS Dhoni is still fit to play. He's a tremendous player. Once he's off the captaincy, he is going to play totally carefree. His mind will not be blocked down with which fielder has to be at which position, which bowler has to be introduced. He can play bat and field meaning I'm saying wicket keeping, carefree. He can enjoy his cricket. And as we know all, that when a player is enjoying his cricket, he plays best. At the same time, he's got Virat Kohli as captain. He can give him all the tips because you've got 18 ODIs and 9 2020s. Best year for transition. I think it's a fantastic decision MS has taken, or like Amarnath said, prompted by somebody. That's nobody's concern. Let's look at it from a positive point of view and let him play his game, and hopefully this will be good for India.
Vijay, when Dhoni made his debut in Pakistan, that's when Full Toss made its debut. You and I, we were here that
absolutely.
time. Let's hear from you, Vijay.
Yes, so I'm glad that you brought that up because I think it is going back to that mode of batsmanship which Dhoni was with his carefree. You had his long hair, carefree batting and smashing everybody, and I think. Adding to Huku's point, besides the fact that there are a lot of one-dayers and T20s to be played this year, last year, Dhoni's record as a captain for ODIs, he had more losses than wins. and he wasn't enjoying his
Excellent
finishing
point.
role, or wasn't as efficient in his finishing role as he used to be. Even the T20 that they lost in Florida against the West Indies, there was one game where in the last over he couldn't finish it off against. So I think a lot of those, and he is a smart guy. He might have seen the writing on the wall that Kohli is stamping his authority on the team, becoming a great captain, having a great record in the Test matches at least. So he's coming on to his own now, and as both of them said, it's the right time.
Gentlemen, I'm going to open up the phone lines 848-444-1600, 848-444-1600. If any of our listeners want to participate in the discussion that we're having right now, you can give us a call. You can tell us what you think about MSD's decision of stepping down as a captain, and we'll put you on air. Once again, it's 848-444-1600. Now, gentlemen, Atul, myself, and Amanat, we have been talking about it for the last couple of days. Just want to bring that up on the table as well. Each one of us, we put together our thoughts about as to what we thought was the best way Dhoni is going to go ahead and go and play now. I know I was the one who came up with this bold statement. I said, let him open up now. He's always preferred. I mean, when he started his career, I'm talking about domestic, not even international, Dhoni had always insisted as being going and opening up. Now, Atul had an excellent point. Atul, go ahead and say why you shouldn't think he's the right guy for opening.
I feel he's not the right guy because as far as opening is concerned, there are two factors. One is the moving ball. An attacking batsman, it's difficult for him to adjust to the moving ball because he's not a copybook style cricketer. He is unorthodox. He has different shots which might not gel at that time. Plus, in opening you build an inning, and Dhoni is a fantastic closer of an inning. So these are two reasons why I feel Dhoni should be not opening, but definitely come around number 4, number 5, where he has a little time to settle down and then play his shots.
Amanat, Vijay?
Yes, I agree. First of all, besides the fact that he's technically deficient, if you look at his batting, he's excellent in maneuvering field. When he's opening, there's a lot of pace and bounce, and there are slips waiting for outside edges. So definitely technical deficiency is one thing, and he likes situation when the bowler is under pressure, when there is a set target in mind, and he can go at the ball, he can maneuver the field, and that's not possible when he's opening.
Amanat?
Dhoni should be a middle order batsman. It is going to be a change of mindset for him in any case. Instead of being a finisher, he has to become a builder also. When he comes 2 down, especially if in England, you can expect some quick breakthroughs by the opening bowlers of the opposition.
And don't forget that he's getting old. His reflexes are not what it used to be. And if you remember, I think the innings which he played against Sri Lanka in the 2011 World Cup, where he came 2 down and carried through the innings and hit the winning 6. Those are the kind of innings Kohli and the rest of India would be expecting from him now.
Okay. Vijay made a very good point about age because people can argue. We have got David Gower and Warner.
David Warner.
And we had Virender Sehwag, both explosive batsmen and at the opening position. But unfortunately, if you see Sehwag, when he was playing towards the end of his career, he was all over the place. He was not able to adjust to the speed because his reflexes were dropping, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm going to quickly move on before we go ahead and take a break. I'm going to quickly move on to another area where another captain is under a lot of pressure, and that is Misbah-ul Haq.
Yes,
and
Pakistan.
I'm talking about Team Pakistan. Pakistan just lost another Test match to Australia. Gentlemen, your take on Team Pakistan and the way they lost, and Misbah.
Coming to the series, very disappointing. I speak as a big fan of the Pakistan cricket team, and they should have done much better. First Test, they gave hopes with a stirring fight back. In Melbourne, they collapsed in the second innings, but in the Sydney Test, they were completely out of it. They were morale was down. Misbah correctly stated their bowling let them down. Their fast bowling unit did not perform, and Yasir Shah was a disaster. He was all over the place. So if you don't have good bowling, which can take 20 wickets, you have no chance. And if your batsmen, except for Azhar and Yunus, and to some extent Asad Shafiq, nobody batted with any degree of consistency. So that is in substance the story of Pakistan. One can wish that they do better next time.
Yeah, and going by the same theme of age and reflex, if Misbah cannot command his place in the side as a batsman, or he cannot perform, I think I wish for Pakistan cricket that he does a Dhoni and gives up captaincy. And I think people like Sarfraz, the wicketkeeper, are good candidates to pick up the captaincy in test matches. And as Amanath
but Vijay, don't you feel even Azhar Ali? I mean, he's been
yes, Azhar Ali
good job.
He's been a really good player for them, and he's the ODI captain as well. But I think Sarfraz has the added advantage of being the wicketkeeper. He can see the entire field.
I agree.
And
I agree.
they he can plot. And I think the saddest part is their batting. At least in the last 10-15 years has never been their strength. Their bowling has been all their strength. And the saddest part is to see the bowling flounder so much. And that too in Australian conditions, where you'd expect that their pacers and fast bowlers
I would have really expected Mohammad Amir to do so well, given the form that he was in. I was a little disappointed.
And that's interesting because I was watching a Pakistani show where Shoaib Akhtar was talking about Mohammad Amir, and he said it doesn't seem like he's 100% fit.
No, I don't think so.
And he wasn't running in, steaming in, and bowling the way the Pakistani bowlers
something was missing from there.
Yes, and so hopefully Pakistan cricket will bounce back. They are very resilient. So and it has to start with their bowling.
Atul?
Both my two colleagues have actually explained it so well. I don't have much to say, but I would like to point out one aspect. Like both said, Pakistan's bowling has always been on the top, and unfortunately in this game, this series, Pakistan's bowling has not come up to standard. You have to remember one thing. The wickets all over the world are started to become slower and less bouncier. Plus, if you see the Australian series, they were all pure batting wickets. Runs were being scored tremendously. 600, 700 runs were being scored by one team. In situations like this, you don't need speed. You need bowlers which are accurate. They have to bowl in the corridor of uncertainty, which Pakistan bowlers, the fast bowlers, were not able to do. And unfortunately, because of that, they lost the series.
Okay, Jitin, how much time do we have left before we go ahead and take a break? All right, so it is time for us to take a break. When we come back, Amanath, we have another explosive matrix coming up from you.
Okay.
Welcome back, friends. You're listening to Full Toss on Radio Zindagi WWRL 1600 AM in New York, WKXW 101.5 FM HD2 in New Jersey. This is your host, Amit, live from Houston, Texas, and live in the studios of Edison, New Jersey, Radio Zindagi. Atul, Hukku, Vijay, and Amanath, and also Jitin Shukla behind the controls. Atul, before we start our discussion, we have a quiz for our listeners. Go ahead and announce that, and also announce the phone number as well.
Well, listeners, every new year comes with new colors, and this year, Full Toss will always have a quiz. You have an entire week to answer it. Now, the questions for the quiz will be from our previous shows. So, I would request you, I will give you the date of the show. I would request you to go back to the podcast, listen to it. You'll find all the answers in that show. Easier for you to answer it. Yeah, well, if you're smart enough, you can Google it and get the answers too. Now, the question for this week. On December 25th, Full Toss discussed about 7 players who scored 1,000 test runs in 2016. Please name all the 7 players along with the countries they represent. You can email the answer to us, cricket1, the number 1, at fulltosscricket.com. I repeat, cricket1, the number 1, at fulltosscricket.com. Or you can go to the podcast and check out the show of December 25th at www.fulltosscricket.com. So you have a week. You can send it to us till Friday, and Sunday we will announce the winner. and he will definitely get a prize. So send in your name, your telephone contact, so that we can contact you and send your prize to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Atul. And ladies and gentlemen, last week Amarnath came up with an explosive matrix on the batting, and in what Atul was talking about the batsman, Amarnath came up with something so phenomenal about the way he put numbers behind what we've been talking about. Now this week, Amarnath has gone even further, and he's got something on the bowlers. I am really excited, my friend. I really want to hear what you have done. So please share with us. But before you do that, if you can just give a little bit of synopsis of exactly what you're about to do, and so that our listeners can understand how you're getting it done.
Okay, it's fairly simple. Usually, bowlers are rated in a couple of different ways. One, for 2016, if you look at the highest wicket takers, you look at any site, they'll tell you the list of highest wicket takers. Of course, Ashwin took 72 wickets, and if you go down the line, next is Herath and Starc, and ends with Jimmy Anderson at number 12. Now the question comes, how do you rate bowlers apart from just an average? The average for a bowler is how many runs does he give up per wicket. That's how is the traditional metrics to rate a bowler. But it doesn't tell you how consistent he has been in taking those wickets.
Yeah, that has been missing for a while now.
Yes, how consistent is he? Like, for example, is he taking 8 wickets for 100 and then 1 for 100, 1 for 100? Or is he taking 3 wickets and then 4 wickets? That's a more consistent bowler. So I had a tough time trying to figure out how do I come up with a measure of consistency. Now, if you look at the performance of a bowler on an innings basis, you can't compute for every innings the runs given per wicket, because there will be some innings where he won't take any wickets. So you'll have an undefined value or infinity to put it. So I reversed it the other way around. Let us consider take for example Ashwin. He had an average of 23.9 runs per wicket. If you reverse it, for every 100 runs, he takes 4 wickets. So let us view it in a slightly different manner. For a base of 100 runs, how many wickets does he take every innings? So that way I get very easily about 30 values for last year. So once I know his dispersion on a innings by innings basis, I can see his coefficient of variation. So I get one more number. Just to give you an idea, any number above 1 in the coefficient of variation, he tends to be more volatile. Any number below 1 is good. Smaller the number, better is the bowler in terms of consistency. Smaller the coefficient of variation. And fortunately, thanks to the computing power available in PCs, earlier people couldn't do this because computing power is not available. Now we can do it. Ashwin had a coefficient of variation of 0.75. The second highest wicket taker was Rangana Herath, who took 57 wickets. His coefficient of variation was only 0.71.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Look at Starc. Mitchell Starc, who took 50 wickets, but he played only 8 matches, not 12 matches like Ashwin. He had a coefficient of variation of only 0.68.
Wow.
Okay. So now we are getting a very nice way to measure bowlers by their coefficient of variation. Now, so the question comes around, what is the best way to get a first cut of ranking of bowlers? Okay, because we can take rating and ranking to n degrees. So I said, the first thing is, if somebody takes a lot of wickets, you have to consider that fact. Because Ashwin took 72 wickets. Well, he played more matches, but he didn't fritter away those chances. He made full use of those chances with more matches. He took 72 wickets. But then, he had a very good average runs per wicket. Here, we have to see the economy rate. That is very important. Because when you don't take wickets, you don't want to be leaking runs. And finally, a captain, when he throws the ball to a bowler, he wants to have an idea how quickly will he take a wicket. That is what's called the strike rate. The strike rate. The strike rate is also very important. For every 100 balls, or when does he take a wicket? So I take 5-factor. I made it into a multi-factor model and came up with a rating and ranking of the top 12 wicket takers of last year. The number 1 was Rangana Herath.
Oh, wow.
Number 2, a close number 2 was Starc. Number 3, this is the surprise, was Wagner of New Zealand.
Yeah.
People don't realize Wagner
really?
is nobody talks about Wagner.
We haven't talked about him.
Yes, he has done very well. People don't realize how good a bowler Wagner is. If you look at Wagner, he took 41 wickets at an average of only 21 runs per wicket. And he had a coefficient of variation of 0.72. So overall, I'm going to publish this in Full Toss Cricket, and you can see all these 12 bowlers, how they rate and rank. All right?
Excellent, Amarnath. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
I really enjoyed this exercise.
I can see that. I can see that. Excellent.
Although this is excellent, what I would like to know is that people like Wagner are horses for courses kind of bowlers where they are specialists in certain conditions. So they are specialists in certain conditions, especially in New Zealand. Wagner takes loads of wicket. Of course, you can say that for Ashwin as well. But the bowlers who take wickets in all conditions, something that if you can add that to your factors, that would be something that will be fantastic.
Yes, when I do for multiple years, I'll do it over 3 years, not just 1 year. Then it will come through.
Gentlemen, I'm going to open up a second topic of discussion, which is going to correlate to what I'm talking about, is the coaching. We talked about last week cover drives and all those things. I want to talk about the conventional way of coaching, and we talked about Rahul Dravid's way of coaching. And a lot more of the coaches these days are going for what Rahul Dravid also believes in. Atul, you have done some research on this thing. Let's hear your take on that.
Well, the old way of coaching was always set of exercises people would have to go through and again repeat and repeat and repeat. It would get very boring. And the coaches, cricket teams used to have one coach in those days. And the whole idea was, this is the way I have experienced, and this is the way I have played cricket, and this is the way I've been coached. So therefore, you have to be coached in the same fashion. And it's my way or the highway, That's how coaches used to. It worked a lot, but today's world is different. Human beings have become very complicated. They have huge egos. So therefore, coaches have changed their way of putting things together. They have meetings with the players. They let the player play his game. You don't have to motivate the player anymore. You basically tell the player what he is required to do. Let him, in his own technique, find the way to produce those runs or the wickets or the fielding. So the coach now comes up with the new approach by saying, this is what you have to do. Find your own way of doing it. I'm not going to motivate you. We will both discuss it and create an environment of motivation which works for you.
That's excellent. And Atul, please be sure to post this on our Facebook page and also on our blog. Real quickly, Vijay, have 10 seconds.
I will add there. And thanks to, the young Indian cricketers have to thank Mr. Modi. Not Narendra Modi, but Lalit Modi for IPL. And that is that international cricket is all about the mental game and confidence right now. And the fact that people like KL Rahul and Karun Nair are coming up to international cricket and scoring tons of runs and are being successful is the confidence factor that they gain from IPL, that they have not only played the best of the bowlers, but they have been successful against them. So it tells them that there's nothing that can stop us from scoring runs against them in international games also.
Well, gentlemen, looks like that's all the time we had left for today. You were listening to Full Toss on Radio Zindagi. This is your host, Amit, live from Houston, Texas, and in the studios of Radio Zindagi in Edison, New Jersey. Atul Hukku, Amarnath, Vijay, and Jiten Shukla signing off for this week. We'll be back here next week. Till then, everybody, have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.
Full Toss. Back to the pavilion. Till next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern Time.